Hey everyone. I I know it's been a while, but I would just like to go over a few things, and they're kind of very important, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to do content again, but um it, it's really hard to explain, and I didn't really think before I started recording, but um first things first, let's start off with I got kicked out of school. So, well, I guess suspended technically, but there's only three options for me, and one's already out the window, and that's them sending me back to school on probation. They're not gonna do that. Even though I'm a senior, they're not gonna do that. Like it's my last year. But my girlfriend might be pregnant too, and my my substance abuse is getting really bad. To the point where my stomach line almost tore, and I could have died if my stomach line tore. It it like it it's crazy just thinking that I'm only 18 and I've already gone through so much in my life. It's just to the point where I I don't know if I can go much longer or if I even can keep doing this. And it's really getting a struggle. And the most important person in the world to me, I, I've failed them. I have, and I don't know how I could ever, like, I don't know how I could ever forgive myself for hurting the person that I cared the most about. And that's just a harsh truth. I don't know if I could ever forgive myself. And I don't know if they could ever forgive me. But let's talk about my substance abuse now. Um, so whenever I was 13, and whenever I was 12, I started vaping, and that's the one thing that's been hardest for me for the last six years is vaping. That's the hardest for me. And then about 4 years ago, I was introduced to THC pens and normal, normal substance. I guess that's the best way to put it. Try not to break the guidelines as best as possible. But I started off with vaping at 12. The hardest thing so far. When I was 13, I did what's it called? I'm not sure if I can say it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I was doing the Xanax whenever I was only 13, and I haven't touched it ever since. I stopped whenever I was 15, and that's the one thing I'm very proud of because one night I almost overdosed because I took too many. I was sitting in my bed on the phone with my ex-girlfriend now, and I start shaking really violently, and I started jerking around. My whole body started jerking, and I almost overdosed that night. And I'm happy that I threw up, so I didn't, because I wouldn't be here today talking to y'all and telling y'all about it. But I think for the most part, I really do struggle with substances, and I can't control it anymore. I can't eat whenever I'm not high. I can't do anything whenever I'm not high. And it's just horrible. And it's a harsh reality, and I have to face it. And nothing's going to fix this other than me. Even though I've tried fixing it over and over again, I promise I have. It always I it always comes back around, and I can't stop. That I can't. And I feel like I feel like my time's coming. I really do. But most thing of all is I wanted to let y'all know. I wanted to let y'all know and tell y'all, just in case if I never upload again. And that's gonna be really tough if I don't, probably. I've already made a Discord community post stating everything that happened, everything in between. But I'm really sorry, everyone. It's just getting uncontrollable. I can't bear it much longer. But if my girlfriend is pregnant, y'all, I will do everything in my power to put that kid, put him or her on the pedestal that I was never put upon. I wasn't put upon the pedestal, even though I am the firstborn child of my family and the first boy. I was never put on a pedestal. It was always my sisters getting put on a pedestal, and I was always the one that was getting targeted for the bad, for what I did that was bad. I was always the one that was getting pointed out for what I did bad, but my sisters never didn't. And that's a harsh reality. Men have it harder than women. And I'm not saying that men or women can't have it just as hard as men. I'm just stating that men have it often more times harder than females. Because, like I said, I was never put upon a pedestal. I was never I was never looked up to by my younger siblings, in which I'm kind of grateful for, because I wouldn't want them to look up to a substance abuser anyway. So I'll give them a round of applause for that. But my family doesn't even really talk to me anymore So it's just really me and my girlfriend. She's all I have left. And she's the person that I hurt the most by putting her through all this. And it hurts to say that because I know deep down, in reality, it is my fault. Everything, all this shit that's happening to me is my fault. I could have prevented it from stopping years ago, or either a few months ago. I could have stopped. But my addiction is, it's taking over. It really is. And I'm scared for what's gonna happen to me if I keep going like this. Because no matter what, how much I try to stop, I can't. I I physically can't. And it's, if you have anyone that does substances or anything like that, please pull them aside and talk to them and ask them if they're okay. Just ask them if they're okay. Even if it's your mom or brother or uncle that's doing substances, just pull them to the side and ask them why they're doing it. And ask them if they're okay. That's the answer I agree for locking off. Thank you, everyone. And goodbye.